I can't even frickin' roll right. Oh man, it looks like it's a bear. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Sorry about that. My coin just kind of rolled across the table and then kind of got stuck upright and then kind of flipped over on the bear side. So anyways, weird market. Silver down a little bit, gold up. Everything else down. Look at this day though, man. It's like it's been 72 degrees in the morning. I guess there's some people out there in the boats, a lot of people out in the boats. I think a lot of people had the day off today. As I told you, I didn't think I was going to do a video today. I was going to take the day off today. I said, screw it. You know what? I'm not doing much, kind of sitting around enjoying the day, so I'll pump out a quick video, especially with what's going on out there, man. Not even just in the gold and silver markets, everywhere else. But look at this, man. There's some people out there. Look at all the boats. That's pretty amazing. And actually, those are the days I don't want to go out. Too many boaters out there scare up the fish. Too much pressure on the fish. Well, anyways, this is Lauderdale by the Sea, the live cam, if you're not familiar with it. I am about, right now, live here, I'm about, if you walk down this, let's see, this little pier here, and you just kept heading west about 2 or 3 blocks, my coin store is there, Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. I've been there since 1995, and I've been doing this since 1977, second generation precious metal and coin dealer. Wow, it just looks beautiful out there, just to be out there even. I think I'll go down there and take a look. Saw a few surfers trying to catch a few waves there, a little knee-high wave, something fun to do. Well, let's move into markets. I know, I'm not here to talk about weather and all that stuff. I figured I'd pull up the Wall Street Journal. Used to be a subscriber to them, but got sick of it, same old shit. Same old narrative, and take a look at this market out here. It looks like currently down 1,000 points in the Dow Jones. Overnight markets, and we'll discuss why, and we'll discuss the gold price and the silver price, where I think it's going from here. Well, of course I know where it's going from here in the medium long term. Short term though, predicting that, you can be a hero or a zero, so let's see what I do here. But stocks sell off because of the Critter 19 apparently, and at least that's the excuse that they're using, folks. And take a look at this here. Give me S&P down 109 points. Russell, Dow Jones total market, not looking good for stocks and bonds today, that's for darn sure. And not looking good for other markets either. It looks like the Bitcoin and the crypto market's still taking a pretty damn good whack. And there's a lot of reasons for this. Again, a lot of this is going to be thrown off. It's going to be the critter's fault. The critter here. It's going to be the critter's fault why the economy is taking a dump. It's going to be, but the truth of the matter is it's not the critter's fault. It's the reactions, and this economic boom has been happening since 2008. It's not because of this. I mean, trust me, the stock market right here. This is a great scapegoat for. It's actually a great scapegoat for everything today, but it's going to be a scapegoat for this over here. What looks like is about to happen or is happening. Let's see where it goes from here on Monday. I think the markets closed a little bit early today, 1 o'clock, thankfully. But this is going to be the catalyst which kind of starts knocking things down. And again, it's not this. They've never fixed the situation. We talk about this on my videos all the time. In 2008, during our first great financial crisis, the first one, we never fixed anything. In fact, we just made things worse. I've always kind of compared it to, for those of you that work in the medical industry, think of a patient that comes in, a trauma patient. That was 2008. The patient was the American economy, actually the global economy, and that's the patient, right? And the patient comes in with a big gaping wound. That was the crash. That was the bubble crash of the time. And what was it? Housing market, and it took everything else down with it. It was just across the board crash. And we can also say there's a reason behind that crash as well. And there's a reason that that happened, and everybody was clueless at the time. Even the Fed was clueless in 2008. Very few people predicted that 2008 crash, which makes this one even weirder because everyone is predicting it. Everyone is waiting to get smacked in the back of the head with no warning. And this is basically kind of what we're seeing here. So but they never fixed anything. They never fixed this patient. It takes some tough love to fix a patient sometimes. I mean, it takes some brutal surgeries and whatever. But I'm not going to go in. I'm not know much about the medical industry, but I'm kind of do a comparison here. All the Fed did was slap on a whole bunch of big gauzes and Band-Aids and stuff, just try to slow the bleeding, and then they injected a whole bunch of plasma, which you could call the money supply. You could call that the plasma for the patient could be the purchases that they do monthly. It could be the money they're throwing in the system. The plasma is the low interest rates. It's everything across the board that the Fed's been throwing at the dying patient since 2008. Instead of fixing the patient, just kind of slapping Band-Aids on it and slapping more money into it, more or less. And that hasn't helped the patient at all. The things that would have helped the patient would have been painful of America but in the short term it would have been painful. And what would have that been? It would have been decreasing spending across the board in the U.S. government, our military industrial complex, just painful things, okay? And it would have decreased the amount of money that was in Americans' pockets for a little while, but that would have been the correct thing to do, not to continue on the path of just pumping plasma into the patient, pumping more and more money into a broken system, a sick, dying patient. But no less, I digress. I think this is why we're seeing that. Not this. That's not the reason this is happening. The reason this market's happening, really, and ultimately, and the reason the economy is going to take a giant shit is because of this lack of ever caring for the patient, lack of taking care of the patient, a lack of a cure, anything. Again, all they've done is kept the patient on life support since 2008, and we're about to see, maybe this is not it, but it seems like we're about to see the result of that lack of care of the patient. As I said, Bitcoin down quite a bit. Consumer, look at this. This is not even a long-term chart. This is scary, folks. Look at the, and this is Fed, the economic research, Fred economic data. I believe this is the U.S. government site. Consumer price index for all consumer purchases. This is called purchasing power of the consumer dollar in the average U.S. city. But take a look at this decline here. It's not just been, look, 2021. This is a short period decline in the buying power, folks. This is very, very dangerous. It leads me to believe that the patient's dying. So I don't know what they're going to do to a dying patient. Are they going to resurrect a Frankenstein, making digital currencies and stuff and I don't know. It's kind of a weird, scary time. But again, the great scapegoat is going to be Critter 19 is going to be the scapegoat for everything, because you know why? It has to be for them, for government. It has to be for the Fed, central bankers all over the world. Because if they don't have a scapegoat, they're going to be tarred and feathered and driven out of town. So again, very convenient scapegoat. And thank your corporate media. We'll get into that next Monday. I want to talk about manipulation of markets. I want to talk about censorship again, but I'm not going to do it today. Too much of a bummer today. Well. Let's take a look at some charts here. I'm showing you the consumer price and purchasing power of the consumer dollar in the U.S. average. Again, folks, this chart is not from 1950 to now. This chart is all 2020 and 2021. Take a look at this. Even after the critter pretty much went away, look where we were, but this is a downward spiral. Now, from what we were told, the critter should have been eradicated. This line should have gone up. But again, don't believe what you're told, folks. Narratives are being painted. They've been painted for a long time. Again, I digress. I can go into that for a little while. Again, I'm not looking at precious metals here. I'm going to get into spots here. I'm not worried about gold and silver, period, at all. We may see a big kick in the ass in gold and silver here temporarily in the paper markets, but it's not the physical markets, and it's not real physical capitulation. If the stock market continues to get whacked like it is, in 2008, it also took down the price of gold and silver, and there was a lot of rumors and people saying it had to do with margin calls as well, people selling off their gold and silver to cover margin calls. There's all kinds of reasons. I don't know what the true reason why gold and silver got pulled down, but the thing is, the paper market only in 2008 got pulled down with the rest of the stock market. If you're worried about some similarities here, I kind of believe that when we see this next bubble pop, 2008 was the last big bubble that we've seen in our lifetimes. We were told by Yellen and everyone, that's the end, man, there's no more of that. Bullshit, all right? We're in the greatest bubble of all time, folks, now. Again, is this the defining moment, Black Friday? I'm not sure. A lot of people are saying that the holiday, and again, how long can they keep that hemorrhaging patient alive? Let's take a look at unemployment rates. Are kind of, you can't trust the unemployment rates. I mean, you know how whacked out they are. You see stories about them all the time. So it's not a good barometer on the economy. That's for sure. And unemployment rates are just not a good. They used to be. Initial jobless claims used to be a good. It would tell you kind of where the economy was standing, but no long. Real retail sales have gone up quite a bit. We're seeing some inflation. And debt to GDP ratios. Now here's what you got to look at. Debt to GDP ratios. Take a look at that. Again, this is the plasma being injected into the patient. This is a result of this. This is the plasma right here, national debt by president. Of course, we know that this president is going to increase national debt by tenfold. Again, what are we in, folks? We're in the G boat, the greatest bubble of all time. National debt by year. Folks, I can go over all these charts, and here Macro Trends has some wonderful charts, by the way. Definitely put them on your bookmark bar above. A worthwhile site to have. We're going to take a look at the gold charts here in just a moment. And, I may not even take a look at gold charts here, but, take a look at the interest rates. Take a look at this economy charts here. Look at oil and gas. Look at global metrics. None of the data here on the charts is good, folks. It all points to the greatest bubble of all time. And again, is Black Friday, is this the day that it started? I don't know. Let's see. Are they able to never underestimate the power of people that have the printing presses, folks? They can just pump out some more money. Everything will seem fine for a little bit. But at some point, the plasma's just not going to work anymore. The patient's going to die. Let's move into CCE, gold and silver prices. Yesterday it was kind of flat. I mean, we'll take a look at the 24-hour charts here in just a moment. And let me just do a quick refresh here. And let's see where we are currently. You look there, a high of 1816, a low of 1790. We're currently sitting around that 1800 mark. My belief, as there is the belief by some others out there that are in the silver and gold markets, is that this gold takedown was an attempt to take down the price of silver as well, which it did fairly well, but it's temporary, folks. I can tell you with extreme confidence that this right here, and I'll get to that in a moment. We'll look at the overnight charts. Let me just talk about gold first before I get off on silver here. 1790 a low, 1816 a high, currently sitting around that 1800 mark. I think gold's going to just keep charging up here. I don't see, in fact, again, if we see an entire market collapse here in a big way coming up this next week, you will see, I believe, you may see gold and silver and platinum take a pretty good sized dump. And it won't be physical capitulation, it'll be paper capitulation and maybe to cover margin calls again. However, I kind of think that people are expecting this and that they're going to be more into, I don't know, it's a weird, bizarre world we live in right now. Let me move into silver because I do want to show you the 24-hour charts. Silver low, wow, look at that, 23.18. The manipulated thieves, in my opinion, the thieves at COMEX, the big commercial banks, and the thieving casino that allows it to happen, COMEX, again, this is my opinion, has been able to drop that silver price down to 23.18, but so far not below that 22 level. The day's not over yet, but I believe, again, if the stock market closes at 1 o'clock, does commodities markets close early today too? Probably not worldwide. So again, let's take a look at this. I think if we hold on to this market at 23, we're going to be okay. Again, unless we see a complete Dow market, and NASDAQ market meltdown on Monday, and then all bets are off for me. You could see metal prices just tank. As I said, you won't be able to buy physical at that level. Physical will just dry up immediately. Premiums will get really high, you won't be able to buy physical at those levels. Put it that way if it does crash. When silver and gold do crash, and they will with the stock market and everything, but it will only be temporary. Again, take a look at 2008. It did take a shit with the other markets, but that was only in the paper markets. I repeated this over and over, but it needs to be heard. The physical markets in 2008, Silver Eagles were bringing premium almost as high as the spot silver price itself. And we were being told it was going to be 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months out for delivery on silver. That was 2008 when we had our first bubble of all time. This next greatest bubble of all time Who knows what it's going to do with precious metals market. But the difference, I think, between now and then, I think the difference now is going to be, it's going to be massive, huge bubble. The weird thing is we've been expecting it. That's just the weird thing about it. So what is being done? I mean, have there been stops and things put in place to prevent this thing from happening overnight like it did in 2008? Or is it going to be like 2008? Or is it going to be just slowly hemorrhaging for months and months and months? I suspect that's probably what's going to happen, and it's going to slowly hemorrhage for months and months and months, the market. And it's going to be really bad and a very depressing time. Again, very good time for gold, too. That's going to be an excellent time for precious metals. So as I said, 23.18 low, 23.75 a high. Currently sitting at 23.19, which is only a little penny off the low there. So again, let's see what happens. Platinum sitting at that $900 level. Again, what does this mean to me, folks? As long as there's physical out there and the premiums aren't absolutely crazy, which they are not yet. They could be, they can be come Monday or next week, but my opinion is buy the frickin' dip here, folks. This is a great opportunity to buy the dips right now. There is still availability of silver and gold out there. When this whole market takes a giant shit, again, I don't know if it's today. I don't know if today's the catalyst, Black Friday. And again, you can't underestimate the power of banks that can just pump a lot of money in the system real quick. So let's see what happens. And again, my third factor is they're expecting this. So I just can't see an overnight collapse overall. What I can see is a patient hemorrhaging and just dying on the table. And that's kind of where I think we're heading with this. As I said, great frickin' opportunity to buy the frickin' dips. So in my opinion, buy the frickin' dips here, folks, while you can. This price is going to be, these prices are going to be very cheap. When we discuss videos in the future and you're doing comments in my comment section, you're going to say, damn, you remember when it was less than 2,000, Brian? You remember when silver was less than 30 or 40 or 50? I really believe that, in my opinion, that we're going to see triple-digit silver here sometime. Again, not in the near future, but sometime in the medium and long term. And I don't mean long term, we'll all be dead by then, but I believe that they're losing control of this manipulation that they have right now in the COMEX markets. We'll talk about that on Monday. I got a good show to do on Monday for you. Again, today, great opportunity to buy the frickin' dip. I'm closed today, so I'm sorry to my local peeps. I had to take the day off. My employees wanted a nice long weekend as well. We never do that. It's the only time of year that we take a non-official holiday, which is Black Friday and close. That's the only one a year we do. And like I said, I was going to be closed today and not do a video, so here I am. But we are closed. Let's take a look at the 24-hour charts real quick, and let's see where this monkey hammering occurred. With gold, not so much. Take a look at the gold markets overnight. And here's the green line where we are right now. Here's our current point. I just refreshed it. You can see where the monkey hammering kind of takes place in the gold prices, which is London more than likely, and New York NYMEX markets, where we currently are here today. But it looks like the overnight markets, and I'm going to suspect that was the Hong Kong markets and the Asian markets. I believe that was these markets right here that we saw going up. Again, the monkey hammering and the bullshit and the manipulation with gold happening, in my opinion, in London and New York. Currently, let's take a look at silver, which paints a little bit different picture. Silver didn't have that upswing like gold did. And again, I am firm belief that the takedown of gold was really an attempt to take down silver, because they were looking at some big trouble when they busted above 25. Maybe they're able to unload some of their short positions right now, but the crooked commercial banks and the crooked COMEX, in my opinion, have done it again here. Take a look at it. We've sub $23. Look at this. Let's see where it happened too. Choppy trading last night, if you take a look, in Hong Kong and Asian markets. And actually, it looks like somewhere along the line, I'm going to guess. It's purely a guess, and I could very well be very wrong on this. But this line upward, I believe, might have been the Asian markets, and this line downward is the continuation of probably someone that sold a lot of silver in the Globex market, which is a very thinly traded market. Nobody sells silver in the thin Globex market in large quantities. That probably caused that to happen without the intent of driving the prices down. And again, as you can see, you got prices kind of rising up here again. London is open during this period, but a lot of the monkey hammering, I believe, in silver happens in New York Globex markets and New York NYMEX markets as well. I think that's what we're seeing with these dips down here. Purely speculative on my part. Let me not say that for sure. just a gut feeling. And then this dip right here we saw in this morning in silver occurring after London closes. And then, again, London and New York NYMEX are the two most crooked bullion markets in the world. I can't speak for Hong Kong, China, other than Sydney and those other ones, but Globex, New York NYMEX, and again, run by COMEX. Globex right here and New York NYMEX is run by COMEX. They're COMEX markets. New York Globex is nearly a 24-hour market. Again, if you see large bullion trades done in the middle of the night in very light trading, those are the manipulative motherfuckers out there trying to drop the prices down. And again, it's done through COMEX, and they allow it to happen because it's their casino. They can change the rules anytime they want. But technically speaking, it should be illegal because it is manipulative. It is an attempt to manipulate prices to benefit themselves and hurt everyone else. And that's a fact. Well, let's move out of here. We know where silver is going right now. Great frickin' buy. What did I say as far as our prices now? Well, let's just do a quick refresh here. I'm going to take a look. 23, oh boy, let's see, 23.09. They may take it sub 22 today, sub 23. Again, great buying opportunity, and I apologize to my locals for being closed. I'm sorry. I'll be open Monday. It looks like this may continue into Monday possibly too. Again, this price you're seeing right here with silver is a highly manipulated price. You can take a look at the 24-hour charts and tell that it's being done in the COMEX markets where the crooks play in the silver markets. Gold seems to be doing fine right now, but it looks like they want to drive that price of silver down, unload those short contracts if they can. And again, I'm not the technical aspect of it. I'm a big fan of Ted Butler, by the way, and you guys know that. I talk about that all the time. If you want to know the technical aspect of it, go to Ted Butler's site, Butler Research. And if you want his weekly updates, you can certainly subscribe like I did. Again, very important stuff to know, especially if you're in the industry. But, folks, this green line where we are today, and if it does do sub $23, you just buy all the shit you can. If you don't live in my immediate area, go to your local coin person, your bullion person, because you know me, I like to keep the money local. And my prices are again, I advertise to be APMEX, JM, and SD Bullion, and I do, and I give just as good service and better advice, in my opinion. But they're not bad companies. So if you're out there, hit your local dealer today. If you can't hit them today, definitely hit them Monday. Try to hit them at these, what appearing might be sub $23 level silver, and buy whatever they have. For you folks out there that have to buy online because you don't have anybody within hours of you that you can buy from, clean out the online resellers as well. This is going to be a great buying opportunity today and probably following into the weekend on Saturday or Monday as well. Again, let's see what happens. I'm really curious. Well, let's take a look at ZH here. I had a little thing where people say, well, why do you talk about politics, Brian? Why do you talk about, your opinion on politics? I give my opinion on politics. I give my opinion on economics. But I'm often asked, why do you talk about politics when it comes to precious metals? Well, folks, because politics has a huge role to play in gold and silver markets, huge role, and you got to be able to express your opinion on what that role is with, and is it negative or positive? And again, that's opinionated. I do give my opinions on how particular political news and how particular medical and political news is going to affect gold and silver markets. This is why I discuss this stuff. I also have my opinion on the way it should be done, but so does everyone else, and that's the beauty of living in America, is we do have different opinions, and hopefully we're not censored because of it. So this is, even something like this. What if this is a result of the cure? What if it's a result of the cure, and all of a sudden we find out it truly is? That can really screw things up across the whole world, folks. So, and also, what is that going to do with the price of, if a new critter variant they claim can cause this kind of damage to our markets, not our precious metal markets, the equity markets. Think about what would happen if we found out if the cure for the critter had major issues. That would just, kill markets. Again, good for precious metals, not good for people, but good for precious metals. This kind of stuff, again, as a political commenter that's going to mention something, how will this affect the price of gold and silver? There is nothing good about limiting the amount of business people do out there. There's nothing good about limiting people's freedoms. Nothing good economically about that. It helps no one. It doesn't help Italy. It doesn't help the pros or the con people, whatever side of the fence you're on. It doesn't help anyone. So why do I bring stuff up like this? Because I think that closures, in my opinion, and those kind of things are very dangerous to the economy. However, good for gold and silver. I don't want to make it sound like that, I hope all this stuff happens. I really don't. To me, there would be nothing better than if we had really a sound money. If our country was built on sound money and sound currency and sound fiscal policy and sound economic policy, we could all do well, not just segments. And again, I believe as the economy takes a crap and things go bad, folks, people that own precious metals are going to do very well. And what does politics have to do whether things go bad? This kind of stuff all has a direct play. Look at this, futures tumble amid sudden fears of a dramatically new critter strain. Again, look what it did to equity markets today. Let's see what happens. And as I said from the start of the show, look what that narrative did to equity markets, because the truth of the matter is we've never been fixed since 2008. We've been broken. The patient's been dying since 2008, or at least status quo, laying there with a gaping wound with Band-Aids and plasma. Anyway, I won't repeat myself for the 10th time. And this kind of stuff you won't find me talk about, because I don't really know that this has any effect on precious metals or anything like that. So if you think it does, let me know. Am I missing something? But again, I like to go over politics. Look at Cathie Wood here. Kind of an interesting thing. She has a huge fund that she takes care of. Cathie Wood stuff takes a collapse, and it goes down with the equity markets. What's that going to do for gold and silver markets? Probably we're going to do very well. Again, all this stuff has to play. Politics, economics, it all has to play with precious metals and whether you want to be involved with metals or not. If everything I looked at here was all good news, hey, the money, our money is going to be backed by gold. I know that's a fantasy, okay, but your money's going to be backed by gold and silver. We're going to cut spending. We're going to cut our military budget. We're going to cut government down dramatically in size. We're going to limit our spending and spend well, spend smart, and if we're going to do that, and every day I saw good news and I saw the economic graphs going up instead of down, the buying power of the dollar going up instead of down, I would say the same thing. I would say, maybe we should back off on gold and silver, folks. But again, gold and silver is always a great insurance to have, even during good times, all right? But during bad times, listen, folks, there is no good news out here at all. I think they spin it and they cover it with cherries and whipped cream to make it look better, but that would be corporate media, again, that does the spin. And again, stuff like this is good. I mean, this is good that we did not, in my opinion, nominate this person, because it's not good for the economy. And again, not being good for the economy is probably good for gold, but I'm torn sometimes. There are certain events that could cause the price of gold just to go skyrocket, but would not be good for the average Joe out there. And ultimately, I'd rather see the country do well and be fixed and everything's cool. But that's not where we're headed, folks. That's not where we've been headed. It's not even a reality. So this is the reason that we need to own gold and silver. And the reason I bring up these type of news and economic events is not to get people all, well, I do. I want to kind of get you worked up. I want you to get thinking about this stuff. Nothing is good out there. Nothing, we're living in fantasy world. So here, let me just move along here. Not too much to talk about in precious metals, oddly enough, in ZH. I'm really surprised. I thought I'd see some articles in here about why metals got hit and the short positions out there and a bunch of other stuff, but not too much. I guess ZH is too concerned with the hemorrhaging that's going on right now with the Dow and the NASDAQ and other markets. Well, hey, I said I wasn't going to do a video, and here we are. And really, when I did the video today, I said, you know what, let me just do like a 5-minute video, but I'm just not capable of that. Oh, by the way, if you're new to this video, ZH is a free website. You can watch it for free anytime you like, and watch it for free. You can read it for free. There's no charge. I got a premium edition, which gets rid of some of the annoying pop-up ads that you might see on other sites. But other than that, great information, great varied content. Pick and choose what you believe and pick and choose. I mean, again, use your gut and your brains to decide what you think is right and what's not right. Don't have someone else do it for you. Don't have other people paint your narrative for you, folks. Doesn't help you. Well, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals on Black Friday. Let's see what happens. And if you live in my area, by the way, I have a brick and mortar store. I'm open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays, typically, not today though. And we only deal locally. We don't deal through the mail. I do advertise to beat the big online sellers, AppMex, SD, and JM Bullion. Easy for me to do. I can play with their margins anytime. I'm very competitive. It's not because I don't like those companies, just because I'm very competitive and I can do it. For my local customers. So if you don't live in my area, I recommend that you find yourself a good local dealer. It's always, better to spend that money in your neighborhood, folks. Again, whether it's bullion, coins, tires, jewelry, whatever it is, I'd prefer to see that money stay in your hood, So that's about it, really. Hey, have a wonderful weekend, and if you're like me, enjoy the 4-day weekend this week that you had. And let's keep an eye. Sunday night markets, by the way, that's when the gold and silver markets are going to open. So let's see what happens on Sunday night. I think that's going to be a follow-through for Monday. And I'm going to do a quick click real quick. Let's see if we busted below that 23 mark yet. I'm kind of yeah, we did. There we go, 22.95, folks. Woohoo! Again, great buying opportunity. So don't panic about this. This is not anybody physically selling silver. There's no silver physical capitulation happening right now. Again, great buying opportunity for you folks out there. As long as the product's available, buy it up. That's my opinion. Hey, have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye now.